On today's video, we made the viral pulled ham even better. For our pulled ham today, we're gonna be starting with a bone-in ham. You do not want a spiral cut ham. This needs to be fully intact so we can make sure to retain as much moisture as possible. This one's also weighing in at around 7.5 pounds, just for anybody following at home. Now we've got our ham out of the package, and what we wanna do is get this fully seasoned. A lot of people say that a binder is not necessary, and most of the time I agree, but this is a really weird shape and I just want to use some yellow mustard so the seasoning sticks to this ham. It's not going to take much. I'm just going to put some on the bottom side here. And then we're just going to season all over top of this ham with our trifecta. Now we're just going to go over top with some mustard as well. And if you guys don't want to use a mustard binder, don't use a mustard binder. If you want to try something else, try something else. You could just use water if you want. Again, all I'm looking for is for this seasoning to stick to this ham so we could build that flavor. Now we're going to go over top with trifecta again. I have my ham on this rack so I can kind of move it around and make sure I get seasoning all over. And this right here looks perfect to me. We're outside, it's right at 8 p.m. and we're gonna be using my Weber Cedarwood XL with Royal Oak charcoal pellets to cook this ham today. I wanted to start tonight because I wanted to give you a realistic timeline if you're going to be cooking this for the holidays. We're gonna be cooking this for a long time. We're gonna break down that ham just to make sure we can pull it. We're gonna get the ham on. I'm gonna keep it right here on the bottom rack. It is barely gonna close, but we verified that it will fully close. I have a brisket we're gonna be cooking up here, so I definitely needed to keep my top rack on. Something to think about if you guys are gonna be cooking multiple things for the holidays. If you put this ham up top, you can actually see right here, it hit the top and it wasn't gonna work, so we're just making adjustments. And that's all there is to it for the pulled ham up until this point. We're gonna wake up in the morning whenever we do, and we're gonna take a look at it. I know that this ham won't be fully cooked to the 205 degrees that I'm gonna want it in order to pull, but we'll check it in the morning, we'll come back, and we'll show you what's next. It's right at 8 a.m. It's been 12 hours since we put the ham on. We're gonna take a look at it, and it's time to wrap. All it's been doing is building bark and developing flavor all night long, catching that smoke. Now it's time to get it tender so we can pull it. You can see we have a really good bark on this ham, just like I talked about a second ago. Nothing is going to rub off here. And just so everybody knows, 225 degrees overnight is gonna give you about 160 degrees on this ham. We're not worried about temperatures too much though. We just wanted to build bark and flavor on this ham. Now it's time to get it tender. I have a nice deep pan here. I'm gonna start with 1 stick of butter, and then we're gonna go ahead and put that ham right on top. This ended up being the perfect size for our ham today. We're also gonna go ahead and add my favorite apple soda. You guys have probably seen me use this plenty on the channel. I'm gonna pour it over top, soften that bark just a tad. And once I'm done pouring all the apple soda out, I'm gonna fill this same exact can up with water, and we're gonna pour that in as well. The last thing I want is for all that good flavor on the bottom to get too syrupy and burned. We wanna use that end to end to rehydrate this ham. Now I'm gonna put a wireless thermometer in. And what this is gonna do is give us that guideline. We talk about temperature being a guideline all the time. The wireless thermometers do a great job of telling you, hey, it's time to go check for probe tenderness. So we're not gonna look at this ham again until it reaches 203 degrees. We wanna feel for that tenderness, but this wireless thermometer is really gonna help this process out. We're gonna go over top with some foil. And this is gonna go back onto the pellet grill. The only thing we're gonna do is change it to 275 degrees until everything is probe tender. The internal thermometer is reading 203 degrees on this pulled ham, and it's been an extra 3 hours since we put it in here. So we did it overnight at 225, bumped it up to 275, and it's been 3 hours since then. What I wanna do now is take my Thermopin and I wanna verify that this is probe tender before we go inside and shred. Just gonna open up our foil. The smell is incredible at this point, but I do want to verify that I have probe tenderness, and I'm not even looking at the thermometer temperature. I just want to make sure that this is going in like butter, and it 100% is. Just for everybody at home, I'm sitting right around 207 degrees, 208 degrees. This is ready to go inside and pull. Now we're inside, we have our pulled ham here. And one of the things that we've noticed when watching these pulled ham videos is that, in my opinion, some of them look a little bit dry in the end. I'm sure they taste incredible and you can add moisture, but what we're trying to do today is make sure that when you take a bite, there is no dry bite. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this, we're gonna re-add some of these juices to this ham, and we're gonna give it a warm rest for at least an hour. That's gonna allow this to kind of keep cooking with those juices, absorb some of those flavors, and really get maximum flavor for your pulled ham. So first things first, create a little spout here, and I'm gonna pour all this good juice into a grease separator. Probably gonna make a little bit of a mess, it's all good. Now what this grease separator is gonna do is separate the fat from the liquid. This liquid is the gold that we're looking for to add flavor to our pulled ham. I know it already looks separated, but I'm gonna give it a few more minutes just to make sure that we have maximum flavor and no fat in our liquid. Now, if we did this right, we should be able to take this bone on top, twist it, and pull it right out, which looks like we did just that. That came out with ease. I didn't have to do anything special to get this bone out. We're gonna go ahead and start shredding. So some of this skin on top here is gonna be a little bit leathery, and we are gonna wanna pull it out of the way. That's just my opinion. You know, you can see right here that it pulls apart, but that skin on is not going to be very desirable in my opinion. And then of course we have that pulled ham, which I ain't going to lie to you, that actually does not look dry. And I promise you that I'm not trying to say anything negative about any of the other videos, but some of them that I had seen, the ham looked really dry. That right there does not look dry at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and separate this, kind of just like pulled pork. I like to make sure that I pull apart everything really, really nice and slow, because I like to make sure that I'm getting good pieces of ham and or pork whenever I'm doing this. But I mean, you can see that this is taking zero effort to do. Feels like there's a little bit of gristle. Feels like there's some cartilage in there that you definitely want to get out. And this right here is exactly why I like to take my time. This is something that you're hopefully going to be serving to your family for Thanksgiving. You definitely don't want to mess it up. Even like right here, here's more bone, here's more cartilage. I definitely don't want anybody biting that. Just because everything is so hot, I'm going to use the bone to kind of shred this up a little bit. But again, I'm going to try and feel through everything and take my time here. Now, there are some pieces of the bark that I'll keep in here. But like I said, in my honest opinion, this skin right here is not desirable. It's not going to make for a good bite, even if I pull it apart. It's pretty tough. It's pretty leathery. That's just something that I'm going to keep out. If you guys want to keep it in, by all means, this is just what I'm going to do. If there's little pieces here and there of the skin, I don't think it's going to hurt anything, but I definitely just don't prefer to have it in. Once all is said and done, we've pulled all of our ham, and this is what we're working with. Looks like it has plenty of moisture. I already took a little sneak bite. I won't front. It does taste incredible, but we're still going to add some more moisture and flavor right now. Now we've got all of our liquid and fat separated. I'm going to go ahead and go right over top of this pulled ham. Don't be shy here. We spent a lot of time making this flavor. There's a little butter, there's apple soda, there's some water, and of course natural pork renderings. Now what I'm going to do, because I love barbecue and barbecue sauces, I'm going to throw some of my favorite barbecue sauce, the barbecue sauce, all over top. Doesn't have to be an incredible amount, just enough to kind of coat that top layer of ham. And then we'll go over top with our unreleased but coming very soon cherry pineapple glaze. This is not just for barbecue, it's for everything. Really, really beautiful color. Makes all of your meats shine. It goes great on cream cheese, great in cocktails. And from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and mix everything together. If you could smell this, I promise you, you would be going to the store to get a ham right now. Smell is out of this world. Now what I'm gonna do is we are going to throw this into our oven on keep warm, which is around 155 to 165 degrees for 1 full hour before we dig in and start eating. This is just gonna allow this ham to pull in some of those juices and make for a really, really flavorful and delicious bite. Super juicy as well. So we'll go ahead and cover this up and we'll go right into the oven on keep warm. Don't worry about the brisket, that's for TikTok. It's been a full hour rest on our pulled ham, and all I did was around every 10 or so minutes, I took this ham and I redistributed those juices. I mixed everything together just to make sure that we had full flavor. If I just grab a bunch right out of the middle, You can see it is just drenched in juices. Again, this is going to be that butter. This is going to be those natural pork renderings. This is going to be some of that glaze. And of course, that apple soda that you guys have seen me use so many times. If you guys are in Texas and you have an HEB, you 100% need to try and grab some of this stuff. It just goes so well on anything pork. Now we're going to pull some ham right out of the middle of this foil pan and take a bite. Whew. I literally almost choked on all the juices that went into the back of my throat. That is so flavorful, so juicy. I'm not exaggerating. I took a bite and there was so much juice that shot to the back of my throat that it made me start coughing. The flavor is unreal. It definitely tastes like a holiday ham with a little bit of added flavor because we didn't add too much of that barbecue sauce, but I did want a little bit. If you guys want to make something like a honey butter or, you know, the maple glaze or whatever you guys want to make at the house, I think that the key is to add the glaze in the end. We definitely don't want to burn anything in the bottom, and I've talked about this before. The au jus that you get out of anything that you're smoking, it is so valuable. It'll add flavor back to your protein in the end, and this is no different. As always, we really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. There's still time to make this for the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. I have no idea when you're watching this video. Wait, what did I say for the outro? I don't know what I said. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. Love you guys. So good. Insane.